everything mental health with your hosts, Chris Weeks and Maureen Edwards.
Hi, Chris.
Hi, Maureen.
I was thinking with our subject of healthy relationships, and what are the qualities of a healthy relationship? Like, how do we know we even have a healthy relationship? Versus there's problems.
Yeah, well, I would imagine that there are a lot of qualities that you can cite and very good indicators of a healthy relationship. I mean, starting off with what we've alluded to before in terms of not only self-respect but respect of each other.
Yes.
Respecting each other's boundaries.
Yes.
But other things like the way in which conflicts are resolved, for example, where there's a clarity in terms of wanting to resolve the conflict. So we're not going to blame each other. We're not going to accuse each other of things. We're looking at the object of resolution or the object of conflict and how we're going to approach this the resolution of this conflict in a healthy way.
Right.
There's a commitment to the relationship that both are committed to the success, so to speak, of this relationship in terms of how it's even approached.
Right. Right.
Go ahead.
What you said about when we can get into the blaming or the accusations, that is literally a survival communication technique.
Right.
When we get into that. So if we are getting into blaming and accusations, we can look at ourselves and think, okay, in this conversation or in this interaction right now, I'm not feeling safe.
Right. Yes.
And identifying that, because it's not going to get anywhere. Blaming and accusations is only going to cause more problems in a relationship. So if you can just stop it at that point and try to do a little bit of self-reflection onto what's going on and why you don't feel safe.
Right. So that's a big part of it, feeling safe in the relationship.
Yeah.
And that crosses all areas, whether you're feeling safe physically, intellectually, where you can express your thoughts. Yes. Emotionally, where you can express your feelings, and this is all being respected.
Yes.
Or understood. And if it's not being understood, it's being investigated as far as what did you mean by that, or you sort of, how come there was this reaction to a situation? Can we unpack that, or can we take a look at that? And it's not once again that you just did this or you just did that to me or anything of that nature, right?
Yeah.
Being honest, and not necessarily brutally so, but being honest in terms of how one may be feeling at any given time. Being confident in the relationship that there's a common understanding of what you're looking for as far as this entire relationship goes. I mean, from
yes,
how are we going to raise our kids? How are we going to interact with our in-laws, finding that happy balance. Almost in terms of a give and take, I think that there needs to be a willingness to perhaps even compromise at times. and learning. I mean, learning about each other and learning about how to communicate with each other, how to be sensitive to the other's needs. So many ways in which intimacy can be conveyed in a healthy relationship.
And I just wanted to add, because sometimes we can have this fantasy or this imagination of what we would like in a relationship that might not be true, and it might not even be possible at this time and space. Maybe in the future, but right at this moment, it's not.
Yeah.
And so that can cause frustration. It can cause accusations. It can cause blaming. It can cause a whole bunch of things. So just to logically and realistically understand what the parameters are at this time in the relationship and working from that. I think that's very, very powerful, because once we run into this imagined state, oh, I wish this person was this way, or that dreamy state, we've lost it.
Absolutely.
Right?